right, let's just use ChatGPT and say, write me a chapter about Arnold and Betty, two lovers in 1963 Paris. So ChatGPT does its job. Let's see, Arnold and Betty met in the spring of 1963 in Paris, a city that was alive with the energy, the counterculture. They met at a cafe in the Latin Quarter. Arnold was reading Sartre and smoking Valois. Over the next few weeks, Arnold and Betty spent every moment they could together. Weeks turned into months. They fell deeply in love. Their idyllic world was shattered when Arnold received a letter from the U.S. informing him he had been drafted and had to go to Vietnam. In the end, Arnold made the difficult decision to flee to Canada, where he'd be safe from the draft. Betty was heartbroken, but she knew she had no other choice. So Arnold left Paris, leaving behind the city he loved and the woman he adored, in search of a future. Not bad. Decent. I would turn this in when I was in high school, no problem. So let's go over to Promptly now, and I'm going to just copy exactly what I wrote here, and I'm going to give this a title, Paris 1963, and I'm going to do this and click Save Prompt. So now Promptly will build a more engineered prompt. Takes a minute or two. And here we go. You can see it's a little bit more detailed. Act as an author. Write a chapter to star-crossed lovers. I didn't ask it to be star-crossed, but there we go. So now let's go back to ChatGPT. Let's use this prompt and get a totally different story. Two star-crossed lovers in the romantic city of Paris in 1963. They met by chance in a small cafe in the Latin Quarter. Their love had blossomed quickly. For months they were inseparable, but their idyllic world was shattered when Arnold received a letter from the U.S. government informing him they'd been drafted. Betty was heartbroken. Time went on. Betty began to feel the weight of societal pressure bearing down on her. Still considered scandalous for a French woman to be involved with an American expat, one who had fled the draft. She struggled with this pressure. Meanwhile, Arnold was struggling with his own demons. He had made a new life for himself in Canada, could not shake the feeling. So you can see the story is much longer. It's much more richly written and comes to a better conclusion. So this is a really simple example of just write me a story, write me a chapter about this, and the difference between Promptly's prompt and just typing the same thing into ChatGPT and the result that you get. Okay, let's do another example here. Write me a social media announcement about my new book, Arnold and Betty in Paris. Exciting news, my latest book, now available for purchase. Join Arnold and Betty as they explore the city of love, taking in all the sights, sounds, and tastes of Paris from the Eiffel Tower. Okay, so let's take that exact same instruction in Promptly and book announce. And here we go. Save this prompt. Now, what you'll find is that as you start using Promptly, you're going to become a better prompt engineer just by osmosis. As you start to see the types of prompts that Promptly generates, where it's much more specific, act as a social media act as a social media specialist, write an engaging announcement, give an exciting description, and then use vivid language and draw visuals and draw readers in, encourage them to buy. So much more detailed instruction. Let's copy this in and go back over to ChatGPT and let's see what we get. Attention book lovers, get ready to embark on a magical journey with Arnold and Betty in Paris, the newest addition to our collection. What are you waiting for? Grab your copy. Charming storyline. Okay, so let's just take a look. We have one paragraph versus 4 paragraphs, And let's just take a look at the word count and reading level. So if I go over to Word Counter and I drop this in, I've got 500 characters, 5 sentences at an 11th to 12th grade level. If I go back to the more engineered prompt, I have 1,174 words, 10 sentences, and a college student level. So much more robust, much more professional writing, and you become a better engineer on your own.